What's going on, guys? Jamie Macon. I am the husband. And today we have a question. What is that question?
Can you dye Sola Wood Flowers with Chalk Couture Paste?
So we sell chalk and we're an affiliate for Sola, links below, and we wanted to see if they would work together. So we did a little experimenting and figured we'd hang out and show you guys how it works and how you can do it. So let's get switched over and we'll show you how it works. All right, so we've got 3 different mixes for each color.
So we figured out actual measurements and things for you so you can get different kind of vibrancies. So it's actually a pretty good combination. It looks like we're using a lot.
It does look like we're using it. It's really not a lot.
No, because there's going to be a lot of water included with this. So we figured out that we'd use a dark color and then a lighter color to kind of show you how vibrant you can make your color or how light and soft you can make it.
So what we do is we have a 1/4 cup in each one of these. We have a 1/2 cup each one of these, and we have 1 cup in each one of these of water. And then we're taking a teaspoon, which is smaller, teaspoon smaller. So a teaspoon of whatever color chalk paste you want to use, and putting a teaspoon in each one of these, and it'll make a different vibrance. Is that what you said? Vibrance. It makes it brighter or lighter. So really easy to mix. Just changing the amount of water for each one. The other thing that you can do is we have a little electric mixer, and it makes it really easy to mix all these together. But if you're going to do it by hand, I suggest using warm water in this because it'll make it mix a lot easier as opposed to cold water. So we'll just scoop these in real quick, and then we can get to mixing. Alrighty, so we got everything mixed, and again, this is 1 cup of water to 1 teaspoon of the Chalk Couture paste. 1/2 cup of water, Chalk Couture paste. 1/4 cup of water, teaspoon paste. Same thing on the pink.
Yep.
So you absolutely could just take a cup of water, throw a little paste in, mix it around, probably get pretty close to what we're making. Pretty cool colors. But this way, if you're doing a project and you have a bunch of flowers made and a day later you're like, oh, I really want to make a same color flower for this new project, you got your mix ratios. Also, if you use one of these like with a lidded container, you could probably just put the lid on there and keep it for later.
Yep.
Because this is a large volume. So anyway, let's get to Dunkin.
Coffee?
Not the coffee. Jeez.
Okie dokie. So, we have used some scissors on the little nubbins.
On the nubbins.
So just so you don't get all pasty. But
Just give
you
them
can also
quick-
just dunk.
Just dunk. Good 5 seconds or so in there.
Yeah. It's also a good idea to not put these on paper towels to dry because they're wet and you will the paper towel will stick to them.
So you get paper towel flowers.
Yeah, and that's not really what you were after, I'm betting.
See that? Bring you up to the camera if I can.
Whoa,
See now that's our darkest, deepest purple, and it came out pretty cool.
blurry goodness.
Blurry goodness for sure. We will get some good finished good pictures after these dry. So I'm gonna put a little purple on my hands, and we're just gonna set it a little nubbin in the rack. There. Okay. I think we're gonna do the little baby one in our medium purple. Ooh, that pink looks good too.
Yeah. So these little flowers in the, what was this, quarter cup?
There's a quarter cup.
The quarter cup barely covers the top. So if you only have a few flowers to do, a quarter cup will do. But if you're looking to do a half dozen or more, just size up. It's the same amount of paste.
Right. Just put, if you want this consistency, the real deep rich, put 2 teaspoons in and a half cup just to make the deeper. I'm sure you guys can math it out. And there is our medium. Purple. And you know what's kind of cool? It's almost sucking in. You can see on the ridges there a little bit where it's pulling it in. You can see the veins.
I forgot to pay attention to what I was doing. I was just playing in the water.
We're not doing a video. We're not doing any kind of practicing or any kind of, experimenting. She's just playing in water.
Jamie likes to play with water. So, that's what I was doing.
Okay, so this will be our lightest purple. And also, too, the amount of dunk time, we're going to call it, it didn't seem to make too much of a difference. We did a little bit of testing earlier. As long as you get in there for about 5 seconds or so, anything past that kind of soaked up what it was going to soak up and you were good.
I'm only swirling this around to make sure that because it wasn't actually quite deep enough to put the flower in.
There.
Ooh, that's
a lighter purple.
Pretty little lilac flower.
Whoa. And there is our lightest one there.
So once you get past this amount of water and paste, it's really kind of...
You kind of hit diminishing returns. It doesn't change the color that much.
Yeah.
I'll slide these out of the way. So you can slide that rack over.
Drip.
Yep.
So the flowers take a couple days to really and truly dry, so you can get them on whatever project you're doing, so they'll stay. So I think you can see that it's a pretty good transition of color just based on the amount of water. It's the same amount of paste, just the amount of water.
Yep.
This one here with the pink is very, very, very light. Right now, we'll see what it looks like once they completely dry, but it kind of just tinted it a little.
Yep. All right, guys. So while we were going through starting to clean up, we noticed that the pink didn't really mix together real well. There was globs, for lack of a better term, at the bottom of the cup. So what we did is we went through and took some boiling hot water, and we mixed boiling hot water with the paste at like a 1-to-1 ratio. The only thing I will say is if you're going to use boiling hot water, be careful of your plastic cup because we melted the heck out of the bottom of this.
Yeah.
But it did help mix all of the paste up and get it cleaned up a little better. So we're going to redunk at a heavy ratioed pink.
And I pulled out a really big flower so we can tell that it's a different size. Speaking of the flowers, these are skinless. When you're looking at the Sola flowers and stuff, there are skinned ones. The skinned have bark on them still. Very cool, very neat for kind of like certain circumstances.
Like a rustic flower.
Yeah, well, and that's why we got some. But the ones that we're using to show you are skinless because the bark dies in a different manner. It still dies, it's just...
It does. That'll be part of round 2. So be sure to sub because we have some more experimenting we did or in process of doing. And some really cool techniques on how you can make really neat looks on the flowers.
We have part 2 and part 3 all planned out already. Just gotta do it.
So that is the dye with the warmer mix, which is just slightly pinker, slightly darker pink than the original dip.
Yeah.
But this way, it makes sure that you get all of your paste mixed into the water.
See, this one is more of a solid coat. This one has,
Gradient to it.
yeah, like the tips are darker and some of the inside is not as much. We'll get you better pictures when it's all dried out, but
We're gonna let these dry and then we'll come back with them. Alrighty, they're dry.
and they're pretty.
They did come out pretty cool. It's really neat that on the tips of each of the petals, you can see where the chalk got soaked into the wood, and the veins actually pulled it up in there.
Yeah.
It's very cool. It's a little bit darker right on the ridges.
Yep.
And the steps between them came out really good. You can see that the really dark purples and it gradiates down pretty cool.
Yep. So the darker ones, you definitely get the 3 steps. I kind of feel like with the light ones, these two are really the ones that will actually change the color. This will give you just a barely pink tint. So just something to keep in mind if you're going for a lighter.
Right. If you're making a bouquet, maybe just a few of those that are
Yeah.
a little bit pinked
Yep. And this is the one, the bigger one that we did with the
hot water.
the remnants. And this is still a pretty solid coating.
Yep, very good coating, mixed in very well.
Yep.
So,
I like that one the best.
well, let's switch over. So we had one more question.
Why would you use Chalk Couture Paste to dye Sola Wood Flowers? So you absolutely can use a whole variety of products to dye your flowers. But we use Chalk Couture Paste for everything. We stain with it. And we paint with it. So obviously we chalk with it. But the beautiful thing is now you can take this Chalk Couture color paste and dye flowers to match exactly. You will have every single color flower that you will ever need. Any gradients between the color, like...
You can custom color your flowers to match exactly with your project. Whatever color your project turns out, whatever you're chalking with, you can get the exact thing. And sometimes that's really cool because it'll pull pieces of the color out to the frame, or on this one, obviously. So, awesome. Well, be sure, guys, we are doing part 2 and part 3. That we've got a bunch of different techniques and some different cool stuff you can do on the flower. So be sure to subscribe, come back, hang out with us, and if you had a good time, throw us one of these.
And we will have links in the description if you are curious about the Chalk Couture Paste or transfers or whatever, as well as the Sola Flowers. So look in the description.
Check out below. See you next time, guys.
Bye.